How to get your highest kill game PR on Resurgence as an amateur noob. So this is going to be a camping strategy for Haven's Hollow. Now I know there are plenty of streamers, people who play all day, that can do much better. They have great movement and they can get way more kills than you're going to see in this video. But this is for people who are potentially employed, maybe they're taking school seriously and hop on the game only for a few hours every week. So this strategy is very simple to pick up potentially your PR, because on Haven's Hollow, especially with skill-based matchmaking, sometimes in the lobbies, these things are quite difficult to get high kill games. But I think this strategy I employed for this game here is very simple and very replicable for anyone to be able to do, to be able to pick up a good amount of kills. I got 9 kills in this game, which currently on Haven's Hollow, as it's just been released, is my highest kill game. But it was very simple, required next to no skill actually, but it's just something which I personally found enjoyable to do. Now this might not be for everyone, potentially you like going around outgunning people, you're very skilled, etc. But for me, that's maybe not too much the case as a employed person. But right now, what I'm going to show you is essentially the strategy. Off the start of the game, I dropped in the bottom right hand side of the map inside the circle. So it's in one of the corners of the maps, and you can see here there is this little area at the back of the map where essentially I can see people coming from in front of me, to the left and to the right, and then no one's going to be behind me, because a lot of the time if you are playing very good people, as in some of the lobbies in Haven's Hollow and Resurgence, people are very good, they have great movement, great gun skill, etc., and it's hard to pick up kills. But as you can see in this position of the map, people are going to try and run after you, but they're going to kind of run into your pre-aim on this little area of the map. And in this area, a lot of people tend to come through this area here. You can put down claymores, etc., pick up all your weapons. What I recommend doing is running one assault rifle and one submachine gun in this area over here. Once people start to get closer, you can pull out your submachine gun. But a lot of these long, slightly medium to long range gunfights, the AR is very good. You don't need to get your loadout. I've just got 2 ground loot weapons here. And you can see this is the area we kind of want to get to. It's a little bit of a head glitch, a little bit of a position. It's going to be very hard for people to shoot you off of. And as well, you can kind of see a lot of parts of the map. You can see people jumping in, etc. But you can kind of go into some of these places if you know people are going to be coming in from the right hand side of this area, because that is where potentially people might be able to catch you off guard. That's to the right side of here. But most people will come through that little kind of barn door area there, which is actually very easy just to shoot them from there. You'll be able to get some people coming in as well. So there is a little bit other area here which you can kind of get a head glitch behind to be able to try and pick up some kills there. But I always recommend going back to this spot right here, not trying to stray from here, because while you're shooting, people will, if you have an unsuppressed weapon, see it on the mini map, see it as a chance to come and kill you. But if you are always recognizing that, you can kind of get back to there and then make sure that you stay alive. As you can see here, this is the kind of doorway, this is the kind of setup you want. A lot of people go on the roof of these buildings here, which is always a really easy kill. People usually come back in from that. You want to kind of plate up, and then what I recommend doing is people will kind of run through here. But then obviously when you kill them, they'll drop plates, they'll drop ammunition, maybe claymores, etc. I recommend putting like a little claymore at the start there, at the kind of the doorway, I guess, or kind of walkway through there. And you should be able to pick up some people coming in. I think I do get a kill a bit later in the gameplay with that. But potentially the other claymore on the left-hand side, because those are the 2 places where people might kill you close up, especially if you have your assault rifle out and they've got an SMG and they know exactly where you are. So do bear that in mind. And sometimes potentially you might be able to grab the loadout that might come nearby. But here I wouldn't potentially risk it. There should be no reason to kind of leave this position. But on this map, I get quite lucky, of course, because of the circle position. The circle kind of ends over this way. So in some of the games, potentially that's not the case. But the general strategy of picking a corner of the map where you kind of have a head glitch, you can see in front of you, to the right and to the left, is the way to pick up some easy kill, relatively high kill gameplays. Of course, there'll be people out there who can drop 30, 40 kills in Haven's Hollow and other things like that. But potentially if you're not, someone who takes the game super seriously, plays it for hours on end, that might be difficult to do. But I do like this little spot here. If people kind of run up, they shouldn't be expecting you over in this way, but just kind of leave yourself open for people to run through. So I do like to keep going back there. As you can see, the constant rotations, always try to keep on moving. And as well, don't take shots unless you know you can get the kill, because yes, you can spawn back in with Resurgence, etc., but it's very difficult to kind of land back in and then get your guns and get in a good position, etc. Usually when I land back in later on in the game, usually you'll die very quickly. But as you can see here, just keep on an eye around the map, picking up those easy kills that sometimes come. I actually really like the Maverick weapon. It's kind of like an M8A1 in a way. It's pretty decent for these types of gunfights as well. So for these type of gunfights here, ideally a long range weapon that you should be able to kill someone in like 2 or 3 bursts is ideal. So kind of just being patient around here. I kind of hear someone. I don't actually put volume on this gameplay there, but I know someone's in that general direction, so you can kind of, when you see that, maybe it's good to aim your gun in between those kind of 2 different pathways people can come from, to the left near the water and down that little middle pathway there. But as you can see, try and pick up those perks, etc. I wouldn't personally go and risk it to go to a buy station, pick up a loadout or UAV or anything like that. Just sticking to this area here, knowing that very unlikely does anyone come from your right hand side. I've never actually been killed on the right hand side over here, but it definitely can happen if people, kind of realize that you are there and then they try to, come after you if you've killed them a few times in this area. That could be a way to do. Just keep your wits about you and keep on moving. As you can see here, I'm basically moving all the time. Very rarely am I static, just aiming my gun, because people will snipe you out of this area here, and sometimes, if they hit you in the head, you're dead straight away. So do bear that in mind. I would recommend as well, maybe a little bit of a mistake there. I kind of shot and there's probably no chance of me getting that kill. And it's just essentially with an unsuppressed weapon, letting everyone know that I'm here. So that potentially is one of the things that you can get a bit better than me with the gameplay if you're doing it yourself. But here, I'm shooting, and as well in the area, I realized that some AR ammunition is still there, so do recommend basically that will come your little ammo spot over there with this strategy to be able to keep on reloading the ammunition in that area there where people die before. Hopefully keep on feeding you plates, etc. I managed to get all the plates from the people coming in there. But there, I'm very cautious in being able to challenge that person with the sniper, because I'm going to have to hit 2 or 3 shots on him, whereas for him, he only needs to hit 1. So just kind of back away from that. The little secondary like wood pile that's there is actually a really good spot too, just by itself. You can kind of like center yourself till you can see the left hand side, the right hand side, and the middle from there as well. But there is kind of less opportunity to kind of like run away if someone comes from your left here. And if someone's like kind of exactly knows where you are on a UAV, etc. So that's something to bear in mind too. People will have UAVs, they'll see you and then potentially make plays for you, especially because people will get aggravated if you're kind of camping. You like I said before, this is a camping strategy. Potentially people don't like it, but to each their own. Some people enjoy playing their games in like different ways. But here now it's getting towards more of like the end game. There's less people in there. I play slightly more cautious. Do popping off shots around this area over here. But this is the type of situation where I might get caught out to the left side there. That's something to bear in mind, because on the left hand side there is kind of the closest quarters that people can come from. And if I'm kind of looking to the right here, I might be able to see people from the left. So do bear that type of thing in mind. I did, put that claymore down there to kind of stop that. So the kind of 2 main claymore places will be, from that left entrance point and the central one there. I recommend doing that. Just kind of looking around, trying to pick up kills, trying to go for a high kill gameplay, but also try to win. There will be more tutorials on the channel about how to win your first game of, Haven's Hollow, Resurgence, wherever it might be, with some easier strategies than just being insanely skilled, because this is what I wanted to kind of my channel to kind of be about. Maybe for the people who play games casually, and how to win like that, rather than just having insane game time and in-game sense and gun skill and movement, etc. But for like regular people, that's what it was for. But here's the area where I managed to die soon. Kind of got a bit obsessed with the right hand side over here, which was a slight bit of a mistake now, because I heard the guy coming over here, and that is where, like I said before, I got taken out. So things like that will happen. And to kind of spawn back in with Resurgence, you can do that, but towards the end of the game, Resurgence was off, couldn't spawn back in. But hopefully you take this this little place over here and get your PR game. If you're going to do it, leave a like on the video, put your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe for more helpful videos like this one.